Thank you for joining us, and sincere apologies for starting a little behind schedule. Let's begin by telling you about the concerns that lecturers are raising under the umbrella of ASUU. They're threatening a possible nationwide strike, accusing the federal government of reneging on its long-standing agreements on the revitalization and proper funding of public universities. ASUU President Christopher P. Wuna on Thursday noted that Nigerian lecturers have endured more than 2 years of broken promises and delayed tactics by the government. Wuna listed unresolved issues to include the renegotiation of the 2009 ASUU federal government agreement, outstanding salary arrears, withheld promotions, and the welfare of retired lecturers. The ASUU chief also rejected government's proposed tertiary institution staff support fund loan scheme, describing it as a trap to further enslave the already impoverished workers. Let's discuss this. We have two learned gentlemen. Professor of English, University of Uyo, Joseph Ushe. With him is Dr. Abdurrahman Hamisu, a researcher and public commentator. Gentlemen, thank you very much for giving us your time. Professor Ushe, let me start with you and just ask about the 2 years has gone by, according to ASUU president, and it seems like nothing is happening. Is that there's been no talk in the last 2 years, or there's a deadlock? Which is it that is causing this threat? Professor Ushe, if you can hear me.
First, for having me, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to explain ourselves to Nigerians. We are thinking of a 2009 agreement that ought to have been renegotiated 3 years and every 3 years thenceforth. But until now, that process has not taken place. In the last 2 years, we have been on it. We got to some form of agreement, and all that was left was for government to endorse and implement the agreement. But regrettably, the government hasn't done so. And meanwhile, ASUU members have remained on the same salary since 2009 till date. And we think that in as much as we hate going on strikes because of the effects, government seems to be leaving us with no other choice than to embark on this only option that government tends to be able to be conscious of. And, that's the position.
All right, Dr. Hamisu, I want to ask you about the February 2025 document, draft agreement agreed by the Alhaji Yayale Ahmed-led committee. The document, according to your president, covers conditions of service, university autonomy, among other issues. There's the accusation that the federal government has completely ignored this document. How vital is that document to the negotiation efforts? And is there perhaps any reason being given by the federal government for their continued silence?
Let us get something very clearly. I want to say that any nation that does not value its educational system and does not value those that are giving the younger generation the needed knowledge and the requisite preparation, competencies, and discipline they needed in order to become a good member of the society and contribute their quota is doomed. And Nigeria is one of those countries that doesn't care about the welfare of members of staff that are really training the younger generation. With due respect, how many times has the members of the National Assembly gone on strike before they implement their salary increment or whatever emolument or benefit? But in the case of federal government of Nigeria, for whatever issue ASUU has raised, are issues that are negotiated with federal government. Federal government is known to plead with ASUU for time. ASUU usually grant those concessions. And part of the agreement has been that every three years there should be negotiations on salary increment, welfare of the members, of ASUU, who are the people that are really adding value to this country by grooming the younger generation. But each time there is this agreement and it is signed by both parties, nobody is being held by gunpoint to say you either sign or you die. Willingly, these things are negotiated and agreed upon by two and federal government. But you find out that all the time, it is federal government that is always failing in its own duties and responsibilities to implement most of these agreements, if not all of these agreements. Now, the question is, why is it?
Okay, I think we've lost Dr. Hamisu for a bit. I'll pivot back to you, Professor Use, and just talk about the threat by the president of ASUU. He says that they will start with preemptive protest across universities starting next week, pending the August 28th meeting, when they will decide whether they will go on that strike. What are the chances that the federal government will respond to any strike at this point? Because they seem to have been reneging all this while. Is there any other strategy aside this public protest?
Yeah. Can I come in at this point, please?
Prof, go ahead, sir. Professor Use, you have the floor, please.
Yeah, we are among the very best in the country. Yeah, if you want to know, think about those Nigerians who have left the country to other lands and the exploits they are making. Every day on social media, in mainstream news, we are hearing about them achieving great feats, inventions, and the whole lot, winning awards. But the question is, what's happening to us here in the country? It is a question of neglect. Always Nigerians talk about alternative to strike. What is the alternative? How do you have audience with someone who shuts the door against you? Every now and then, ASUU has been at the doors of government seeking to present her issues. Now, if you have taken like 2 years to negotiate, renegotiate an agreement, and you've reached a point where both parties have come to some consensus, what is there that is stopping the federal government from signing and implementing that agreement when the same federal government is on its own, sometimes unilaterally increasing the salaries of people in government, increasing the salaries of judges, people in the judiciary? And we now have this new development, 10 million naira loan. Please, at the current rate of about 1,550 naira to the dollar, that comes to about $6,451,000. And that is what lecturers in some parts of the world earn in a month.
Professor, what would you like them to convert that loan scheme to? Because it seems that's a consensus across the academia that this loan scheme will further impoverish lecturers.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. That loan scheme is a very, very unnecessary and dangerous distraction. In the first place, why is government bringing ASUU into it? Government had an opportunity of talking with ASUU on the 2009 agreement. We came to some form of agreement. Why isn't the government thinking about that? Now, when you bring the 10 million loan issue, no university professor would earn up to 10 million naira per annum. Therefore, no Nigerian professor would have the capacity to even claim the whole 10 million. At the very most, a professor will get a maximum of maybe 6 million. And then at the second point, why talk about the loan instead of the that somebody would, a lecturer would take home and he said, this is my salary. What is the loan for? When the same government is still owing us 3.5 months salary arrears from the 2022 strike. So the loan is not what we are thinking about. And then again, government is bringing in ASUU. If government wants to give money to lecturers loans, government has governing councils. Government has its own structures. Government can use those structures to send money to lecturers or to university workers. Government doesn't need to bring in ASUU. And government doesn't need to even bring that money when government is owing us increase in, a living wage. Government is owing us money for,
some real points with your argument, sir. Let me bring in Dr. Hamisu and ask his thoughts on the loan scheme. Do you agree with the comments of Prof about what federal government is doing with the loan scheme? Once you're done with that, we'll talk about those who have already served.
The question is, what is a loan? A loan is money that has been taken by somebody promising to repay at a given period of time. As it is, and as my colleague rightly pointed out, we're not even empowered as lecturers to take those loans, because if you take a loan, you have to pay back. As somebody who is taking 150,000 naira per month, and then you are giving the person 10 million naira loan, how is the person going to pay back? This is a question. What the university lecturers are asking for is not a loan. What they're asking for is a living wage that is commensurable with the rate of inflation in this country. They pay for their services. They pay for utilities, not impoverishing them further.
All right, quickly, before we go, how would you rather the federal government address the pension crisis affecting retired lecturers who seem to earn very meager pensions monthly? I hear some of them earn as little as 150,000 naira after years of service.
And now it boils down to neglect, injustice, and abuse of power in Nigeria. You have senators that are living after serving for 4 years with severance allowance that could take care of them many years after retirement. And you have somebody that has spent up to 30 years teaching in the university, having a very meager salary or pension, as the case may be. It shows neglect. It shows our priority. That we don't prioritize education, and we don't prioritize those that are given education. Period. That is just it.
I guess we'll have to leave it there for now. Thank you very much, Professor Use and Dr. Hamisu, for speaking with us.
Thank you for having us.
Coming up tonight, President Bola Tinubu lauds Nigeria's armed forces for their resilience. We will bring you that story and more after the break. Stay with us. You're watching tonight on News Central. A reminder of our top stories. Nigerian lecturers threaten fresh nationwide strike, accuse federal government of reneging on promise of due funding. News Central renews commitment to promoting peaceful coexistence with Town Hall addressing security crisis in the Middle Belt. And Uganda agrees deal with United States to take in deported asylum seekers from third countries. We can now confirm that the death toll from Tuesday's dawn terror attack on worshippers in Gungwan Matau community, Malumfashi local government area of Katsina State, has risen to 32. Initial reports had put the number of casualties at 13, but during a condolence visit on Wednesday, a state government delegation confirmed that 32 people lost their lives, with an unverified number of residents abducted. Governor Diku Umar Rada, currently on medical leave, directed the acting governor, Malam Farouk Jobe, to send a high-powered delegation to commiserate with the families of the victims. Describing the killings as heartbreaking, Jobe assured the community that the state government would intensify security operations to track down the perpetrators. Now, in the same vein, News Central, in its drive to amplify the voices of 4 Nigerians, has held another town hall meeting. This time, the conversation moved to Jos, the Plateau State capital, with a focus on the crisis bedeviling the Middle Belt region of Nigeria. The forum brought together political leaders, security operatives, and stakeholders in the region, all raising their diverse voices for a lasting solution. News Central's correspondent, Igbalani Omoni, has more.
To say good morning to you.
At the Middle Belt Town Hall series organized by New Central on the Plateau, the experiences shared by victims were not only shocking but also emotional.
We are tired. This thing has pained me. That day that we stood and talk so that we arrange the peace with them is that very day they will all again to go and attack another village.
This issue keep on repeating. Killing and discrimination of Fulanis, animal poisoning, roastling of animal, butchering of animal, and then the media is taking sides. Media is not reporting what is expected because when something happened to Fulani, you hardly see it or hear it in the media.
Thank God for New Central for what you're doing. Unfortunately, you are very young. You started in 2017 or thereabouts. But these atrocities have been going on for many years. 2019, I spent 162 days in prison for my uncompromised reportage. And when I was stepping into Kaduna prison, the first thing I wanted to see were the terrorists that have been terrorizing our people. I didn't find any. I heard my dear sister, Mariam, saying ethnic profiling. That's not true. In 2021, the executive governor of Katsina State, Bello Masari, said that the so-called bandits are Fulanis like him and they are Muslims like him. The Sultan in 2022, during the inauguration of Magban in Abuja Central Mosque, he said that Magban should call the Fulanis to order for banditry. I didn't say it. So should we now say that the Sultan was ethnically profiling the Fulanis?
On that very day, they killed one of my uncle, they butchered him, and they also ate his meat. They cook his meat and eat it. If I were talking now, they'll say, you are a Fulani man. I will go look for admission. They'll say, he's a Fulani man. We can't grant him admission. Of which I'm an indigene.
Women are crying every day. We are being raped.
They are helpless.
With blame game among various tribes and ethnicities, one thing stands out. For peace to reign, there must be justice.
We have youths. Let's bring them together. Let's form holistic vigilante group, not vigilante group that will take sides.
Until justice is done, there will never be a solution. If you get a Fulani man that is a killer, deal with him as a killer. If you get a bureau man that is a killer, deal with him as a killer. And this will come to an end.
For the security operatives and the government, achieving peace in Nigeria's Middle Belt requires a collaborative effort.
The areas where all these crises are taking place are vast. We cannot have security in every single place. And even if we do, if somebody wants to kill another person, or vice versa, it cannot be stopped until we agree to stop all the killing. That being said, as Commander Operation Safe Haven, I want to assure everyone that we will be just, there will be equity, and we will be fair to everyone. But we need the help of each and every person.
If you are aggrieved, report to the nearest security agency. And I'm giving you assurance. When you report, we act on all these reports.
But one thing that is sure here is the fact that there's some complexity in the issues that have been raised that is beyond us dealing with it as Plateau State government. However, there are much efforts that are being put in place to address these issues once and for all.
Whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, our appeal from New Central and my appeal personally to you will be, please, I beg you, let the violence stop. Let there be peace. Let peace reign supreme in the land.
It is expected that these engagements will bridge the gap between the government and citizens and lay the groundwork for lasting peace in the Middle Belt region. In Lagos for New Central, Igbalani Omoni.
Many thanks, Igbalani. Yusuf Turakai is a professor of theology and social ethics. He joins me now alongside the convener of Initiative for a Better and Brighter Nigeria, Issa El Buba. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here on the news. I will start with you, Professor Peter Rufai, and just... Okay, I think we have Isa now. Let's start with you and just get a bit of an understanding. The coverage by my colleague showed that there is blame game on the one hand, and there is a call for justice. In order to understand what justice is, there has to be an understanding of the issues. So from your perspective, from all that you've seen that's going on in that part of the country, what would constitute justice for the people?
Well, thank you very much for giving us this platform to be able to discuss the state of the nation. When you talk about justice, what we are asking is let the government be able to stand on the path of truth. And the path of truth is this. We know who are the men, people who are carrying out these things that we're talking about, the daily killings, the daily bloodshed that is ongoing. It's not that we don't know. We all know. So talking about going into the written reports and the white papers and all of that, we've gone past all of that. We all know who are the perpetrators of this thing. So when you want to carry out the justice, this is what you do. You just go to the bottom of what it is, deal with it. And that is deal with the people who have made up their mind that they will have to eliminate or they will have to displace a people who own their own land. That is the simple thing. It's not a header and a farmer's clash. This is an intentional genocide, and we must call it the way it is. If we don't call it the way it is, then we're not going to find solution.
So if the problems are known, because we've had this conversation quite a number of times, if the problems, the root causes, the perpetrators are known, what is stopping the federal government from taking action to stop this crisis from the Middle Belt and allow the security in that area to grow?
I will tell you the political will. The political will to carry this thing. Everybody knows what the problem is. And that's the reason why you find what is going on, whether it is in Katsina, whether it is in Zafara, coming down to the Middle Belt, is the same thing. It's just the political will to say, look here, we're going to address this matter once and for all. And number one, for instance, what stops us from banning what you call the movement of cattle across the country? We can convey things through trucks, but land thing, we have to stop it, because for me, as an example, I gave people farm last year. I purchased so much land so that I can help people. Nigerians are suffering. And so I decided to say, okay, come and farm. Give them money, give them the seeds and all of that. They farm, the rice grew up. At the point of harvest, the Fulani boys just drove in their cows and ate everything of several millions. So this is the situation. A farmer is a farmer. But these people believe that this land belongs to them and they must take it. So it's a political will. I mean, politicians are using this, to manipulate and then gloss over things. Nigerians, to be honest with you, the political class in this country, we're not honest to ourselves, and we're not ready.
If we are lacking in the political will as a people, where does that leave us? Because in the conversation that we saw at the town hall, the security operatives there said they are seeking collaboration. But it seems the collaboration is impeded by some level of distrust between the people and the security agencies. What options do we have? Because peace must be returned to the Middle Belt.
That's right. Now, let me give you this. What I've said is the government should empower the locals. The security agencies cannot do these things alone by themselves. So, for instance, you have several villages, and all you need to do is, connect these villages with the locals. The locals know their land. The locals know their people. For instance, most of the people that attack them, they know them by face. So here are the people who attack us. Go after them. If it is the Fulani, deal with the Fulani. If it is the Bureau, deal with the Bureau. And you bring an end to this. But you cannot continue to give certain people, let me use the word, the liberty to keep attacking, keep killing. You said you're going after them, you bring them to book, and you have never brought one. But you go after the locals. The slightest thing you will see, they will rally 20 locals, 30 locals, and say that they have apprehended the people that are behind the killing. But it's not the truth. It is the locals that are suffering. So the political will is that the government should empower the locals with the military, because the military and the police cannot do it alone.
Okay, talk to us.
The point where
You say the military and they cannot do it alone, but talk to us about initiatives like what we have with the new Central Town Hall. How important are conversations like this in creating that synergy to get the conversation off the ground into actions?
Yeah, it's good. For instance, what I've said is what you've done is a very beautiful thing to do. But then most of the times you realize these things are discussed, but the truths are not spoken. The truth is this, and we just have to face the truth. As of the present state of Nigeria with the security situation, 80% of the people that are carrying out this kidnapping, killing, are majorly from my own tribe, which is the Fulani militias. It's not all Fulani, but it's the Fulani militias. And we know them. We know where they are. We know the routes they are coming from.
Thank you very much, Issa, for your contribution tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure joining you.
We apologize for not being able to connect with Professor Turakai. We hope we can have him in subsequent conversations. Now, away from that, let's tell you that President Bola Tinubu has lauded the nation's armed forces for their success in the war against insurgency and criminality, emphasizing the commitment of the current administration to addressing the root causes of insecurity in the country. This was during a plenary session on peace and stability at the ongoing 9th Tokyo International Conference for African Development. Tinubu assured that Nigeria will strengthen government security agencies and continue to push for economic reforms in a bid to position Nigeria. Thank you for staying with us. As 2030 edges closer, the question before us is clear. Can we build a Nigeria that is not only prosperous, but truly inclusive? The answer lies in the reforms, deep, deliberate and urgent sector-wide reforms, from the economy to education, infrastructure upgrades that boost investment to nurture innovation. These are the conversations that will drive the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit conversation. According to the Nigerian Economic Summit Group World Press Conference ahead of the October summit, reform isn't just a buzzword. It's the bridge between where we are and where we must go. New Central's business correspondent Chamunda Beng reports.
2030 fast approaching, the conversation has shifted from questioning the need for reform to confronting the urgency and scale of action required. The NESG's theme, Reform Imperative, Building a Prosperous and Inclusive Nigeria by 2030, captures a transformative vision. It calls for courageous policy overhauls, inclusive leadership, and a steadfast dedication to ensuring that every Nigerian, no matter their background, is empowered to thrive in a future defined by shared growth and opportunity.
We've gone through 24 months of macroeconomic stabilization type reforms, very painful, and it's now time to move the whole country to what we call Wave 2, which is reforms that now start to show in terms of market expansion, job creation, poverty reduction, higher consumption because of more money in people's pockets. And those type of reforms require a specific set of imperatives. One is you have to expand investment intensity. Two is we have to pivot to industrialization because, of course, you can't be an import-dependent country and be rich.
To realize a prosperous Nigeria by 2030, tackling deep-rooted structural inefficiencies is essential. The recent overhauling of Nigeria's tax architecture is a start. Another step is prioritizing investments in human capital and fostering a supportive ecosystem where small and medium-sized enterprises can thrive.
We are also prioritizing monetary and fiscal policy coordination
to stabilize inflation and exchange rates. Our revenue diversification strategy includes boosting non-oil revenue, supporting the manufacturing sector, and driving digital transformation. Our fiscal position is improving. Our debt sustainability looks good, and we have begun to restore confidence in our business environment.
From executive suites to everyday conversation on the streets, one truth resonates loudly. Reform is no longer a choice, it's a necessity. If approached with clarity and conviction, it holds the power to reshape Nigeria's future. In Lagos for News Central, I am Chamun Dabeng.
Outside Nigeria, Uganda has agreed to receive migrants who were denied asylum in the United States but are unwilling or unable to return to their home countries. This announcement was made on Thursday by Uganda's Foreign Ministry. Permanent Secretary for Uganda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Vincent Bagire, confirmed that the new arrangement is part of the U.S. government's effort to accelerate deportations by relocating certain migrants to third countries. Uganda joins other East African nations such as Rwanda and South Sudan in this agreement, expanding Washington's network of countries accepting migrants displaced by U.S. immigration decisions. My colleague Lekon has tonight's business news. Hi, Lekon.
Hello, Felicity. Now in business, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves have climbed to $41 billion as of August 19, 2025, the highest level since December 2021. This is according to the Central Bank of Nigeria data that was made available. The reserves rose 3.69% from $39.54 billion on August 1, maintaining steady growth throughout the month. By August 12, reserves had reached $40.64 billion before advancing to $40.96 billion on August 18. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso attributed the rise to improved capital inflows, stronger crude oil output, rising non-oil exports, and lower imports. He noted that reserves provided 9.5 months of import cover as of mid-July, reflecting sustained stability in the foreign exchange markets. Away from that, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Bayo Ojulari, has insisted that the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries will be restored to full operation. Speaking at the Pengatsin Energy and Labour Summit in Abuja, Ojulari dismissed calls for their sale, stressing that Nigeria's future is above any individual. His remarks counter Dangote Group Chairman Aliko Dangote's claim that the refineries may never work again despite $18 billion spent. Ojulari admitted past missteps, including reopening the Port Harcourt refinery prematurely, but said ongoing reviews and advanced technical partnerships would ensure sustainable rehabilitation. Stakeholders remain skeptical amid continued shutdowns and mounting costs. And straight to the stock markets, the NGX All-Share Index extended its losing streak from yesterday, falling 0.87% to close at 140,332.44 points, with market capitalization easing to about 88.78 trillion naira with a differential of a minus 0.87%. The sustained decline highlights persistent point-taking pressure weighing on the market this week. And talking about sectoral performance, now the banking index advanced 0.47% as select Tier 1 counters saw renewed interest in that particular sector. Insurance plunged 4.69%, leading the day's losses amid heavy sell-offs in penny stocks. Oil and gas also slipped 0.06%, reflecting subdued trades, while consumer goods inched 0.04%. Sentiment stayed weak in fast-moving consumer goods. Industrial goods tumbled 4.04%, pressured by declines in cement and building material measures. Now, though the finance sector was the only shining light across activities today, well, the negative tone continues across the broader markets. And that's it on business. I am Lekon Obanjo.
Tunde has tonight's sports update.
Hello, Felicity. It's time for sports now, and the funeral rites for late Nigeria football legend Peter Rufai, popularly known as Dodo Mayana, began on Thursday, August the 21st, with a service of songs and presentation of his biography at the Rajirasaki Estate Field, Amu-Odofin in Lagos. On Friday, the 22nd of August, a funeral mass will be held at the Catholic Church of Visitation, First Avenue in Festac Town, Lagos. Interment will follow immediately at the Ikoyi Cemetery. The funeral ceremonies will conclude on Sunday, on a day that should have been his birthday, with a Thanksgiving service at the Catholic Church of Visitation in Festac Town. Some of his former teammates and football administrators were also present at the service of songs to pay their last respects.
A lot of people don't even know I'm Rufai, because my mother raised us like that. She would always say, whoever your dad is what he is, whoever I am, because she's an Alagwa, and the Alagwas too are big. So she will always tell me, don't focus on Alagwa, don't focus on Rufai. Your best focus is God. And when you have God, you have everything.
Then when Rufai passed on, I had ghost pimple on my body. And every individual I'm speaking to, there was, tears of lamb rolling through my cheeks. What kind of nation is this?
Meanwhile, Biosa Queens have arrived in Abidjan ahead of the WAFU Zone B CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers, with matches scheduled for Yamoussoukro from the 23rd of August to the 5th of September. The Prosperity Girls, as they are known, are led by coach White Ogbonda and will hold a training session before moving to the tournament venue on Friday. Drawn in Group B, they will face Police Ladies of Ghana, ASCO of Togo, and Sam Nelly of Benin Republic. Their opening match comes against Police Ladies on the 24th of August. The Nigerian champions have focused preparations on tactics, discipline, and team spirit. Club chairman Pastor Robin Apriala said the team is determined to represent the country strongly as they seek qualification for the continental finals. And Samuel Eto'o's hopes of securing a second term as president of the Cameroon Football Federation have been halted after the Ministry of Sports declared his candidacy ineligible. The ministry rejected FECAFOOT's 2023 amended statutes, which removed clauses that disqualified individuals with suspended prison sentences. Eto'o received a 22-month suspended sentence in Spain for tax fraud in 2022. In a letter dated August 19th, the ministry stated that only statutes adopted in July 2021 remain valid, effectively blocking Eto'o from contesting. The decision follows inquiries from delegates over his eligibility, and Eto'o had hinted he was considering re-election, but the government's ruling leaves his future leadership role in Cameroonian football uncertain. And that's all we have on sports. It's back to you, Felicity.
Entertainment news, I beg your pardon, is next, and Adewo is standing by with updates. Hi, Adewo.
I'm all right. How are you doing, Felicity?
The second time is the charm, I guess.
Well, it seems you're quite spotty. But yes, let me get right into entertainment conversations. As Nigerian police force has shut down rumors that Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo is on their wanted list. A viral poster claiming the actress was declared wanted by the Inspector General of Police's monitoring unit made the rounds online by the force. The force has come out to dismiss it as false and misleading. In a statement posted on its official Facebook page, the police clarified that the so-called notice did not come from them and urged the public to stop spreading fake news. The police emphasized the importance of verifying information only through official NPF communication channels before sharing or reacting to news to avoid being misled by fake news. Now, Felicity, I think we're facing a pandemic of fake AI-generated information on social media. What do you think? How do you think we can curb this? Because it's becoming too much.
People should tune to trusted channels like News Central, I guess.
I like
verify
that.
Information.
Truthfully. All right, now let's move on to this one. There's still some controversial conversations. I remember we spoke about this sometime past week. Now, Ghanaian dancehall artist Shatta Wale is back in the news and has been granted bail of that's 10 million Ghana cedis and 2 shorties by the Economic and Organized Crime Office. Now, people are wondering what happened to Shatta Wale. Now, following questioning over a 2019 Lamborghini Urus seized from his home. Now, the vehicle is allegedly linked to a $4 million crime by Nana Kwabena Amoah, serving 86 months in the U.S. Now, Shatta Wale admitted buying the car from a Zach via WhatsApp, but lacked ownership documents. Quite interesting as well. He remains in custody until shorties provide verifiable properties, and the investigation continues with Shatta Wale and a former National Signal Bureau officer as persons of interest. Now, the U.S. authorities seek the Lamborghini's repatriation for Amoah's $4.7 million restitution. So he didn't just have the car seized, now he's being held and he's been questioned as well. Well, Felicity, anything to say on this?
Due diligence always. Like I said last week, don't get into this kind of mess.
Interesting. Well, that's all we have on entertainment tonight.
That's all the news we have for you tonight. But before we go, a quick reminder of our top stories. Nigerian lecturers threaten fresh nationwide strike, accuse federal government of reneging on promises of due funding. New Central renews commitment to promoting peaceful coexistence with town hall addressing security crisis in the Middle Belt. And Uganda has agreed to deal with United States to take in deported asylum seekers from third countries. Would love to hear your feedback. Please send us your eyewitness report to the number showing now on your screen. You can follow us on social media as well to do that. Our handle is @NewsCentralTV. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, on Avo TV and YouTube as well. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.